today, but normally I would do this around 6 o'clock. But I have a long-standing client at 6 o'clock. I helped her relieve her back pain a bit ago, and she got so excited, and she just wants to make sure that everything she does won't bump her back. So, we work out every Wednesday at 6 to make sure she's doing all the right exercises and keeping her core muscles strong. So just to let you know, I'm a pain-free movement specialist. I suffered from very severe chronic back pain a few decades ago. Yes, I'm way older than I look. And all the stuff that they had me doing didn't work. So I figured out all the stuff that does, and I teach it to people that are either currently suffering from back pain or don't want to go there, or don't want to go there again. So this is the routine that I have done. I've done back in the day to help relieve my back pain. I've used it with hundreds of clients to help them relieve their back pain, in addition to strengthening their core. So just to let you know, the stretching is temporary relief. Yes, it feels good because you're stretching all the tight muscles, but there's an underlying cause that is causing those muscles to get tight, which also, has causing the back pain. So we want to deal with the root causes, but this will help you like today for now. But if you want more stuff on how to get rid of the back pain forever, so you don't have to do this stuff like every day to relieve the pain, leave a comment below, or you can also send me a message at either the cell number or the email I will leave once this is all up and running. Or you can check out one of the earlier ones and it'll have my information. So for today's stretch session, we're going to need a foam roller. And if you don't have any of this equipment, don't worry about it. Just be careful with some of the stretches, or you're going to have to skip something. You're going to need a pillow or an Eric's pad. And I also leave information below on where you can get this equipment. A medicine ball or something to keep your hips stacked. Make sure it's at least 6 inches thick. This is about 8. So just make sure, you'll see later on. In either a towel or a stretch band for one of the exercises we will be doing later. I'm going to take my socks off. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with some dynamic movements, because you should never stretch cold, especially if you're stretching like first thing in the morning. A lot of people you go to, like physical therapists and chiropractors, will give you stretches and tell you to do them immediately upon waking up. That's very bad. Never static stretch cold, especially if you have back issues, especially once you roll out of bed, because your spine is not ready for all the motion and the stretching. So definitely want to warm up. So we're going to start with high knees. So bring the leg up. If you can, grab it, pull it up higher. Otherwise, just kind of, march in place, but pull it up. Focus on stretching the butt muscles, staying as tall as possible. Try not to round the spine in any spot. Okay, and now we're going to do butt kickers. So if you can, grab your foot, getting your heel as close to your butt as you can. If you can't, just kind of do this, like, slap it, get it up as high as it'll go. But again, if you can, grab it, hold for a second. Okay, now make sure you have plenty of room in front of you. If your back is not currently bothering you when you do this one, you can use a little English. Otherwise, just pick the leg up, bring it down. Ooh, feel the nice tightness in your hamstrings if you're tight. I also worked out yesterday, did some deadlifts, so they're a little bit tight. Okay, now for this next one, if you need something to hold onto, feel free. Go find something stable to put your hand on and then stick to one side. Otherwise, if your balance is pretty good, pick one leg up, reach for the floor, come back up to tall. Make sure you're using your butt muscles. Same deal on the other side. Reach for the floor, up tall, alternating side to side. As you can see, I'm repositioning my feet and really driving. You don't do that. Really driving the foot in to get my balance. Try to really focus on it. On the side's obviously not as good. Oh, I forgot the foam roller part again. Supposed to do the foam roller first, but I guess we'll do it after the dynamic. Okay, good. So that was 5 aside. So now what you're going to do, cross over, keep a neutral spine, do not round. Stick your butt back, soft knees, which means slightly bent. Get as low as you can. Come back up to tall. Do the same thing on the other side. Cross over, soft knees, butt out, tilting forward or hinging, if that description works better for you. So hinge from the hips. Make sure you have soft knees so you do not strain anything. If you feel any of the stretches in the lower back, I want you to skip it because you are not supposed to feel the stretch in the lower back. You do not want to stretch your lower back. I will do a video on as to why that is bad, but do not stretch your lower back directly. Okay, awesome, nice and tall. Now we're going to do some lateral lunges. You can do whatever you want with your hands. Take a side step, stretch the inner thigh, make sure you're working this leg, back to center, step to the other side, back to center. You can go side to side without having to do what I'm doing, but I want to make sure I stay within the camera. That was wrong. Awesome. So now we're going to break out the foam roller. You're going to sit on the foam roller. What you're going to do is take one ankle, put it on your other knee, roll from the bottom of your butt to the top of your butt. If you're currently, kind of having back pain, you'll probably feel a lot more tenderness in this hip. If you're not currently feeling back pain, probably not as much. Give it a few rolls. If you find a super tender spot, you should probably, focus on it a little more. And then, maybe after you finish doing the stretches, you can get back to this. Or if you decide to, follow my stretch routine again tomorrow, just kind of have the foam roller ready to go before I hop on around 6 o'clock. Give your hips a good rollout to really get that knot. Okay, so now we're going to start with the stretches. I wonder if you'll be able to see me if I do it this way. Yeah, we'll do it the other way. Okay, so what you're going to do, stay, lie on your backside. Make sure you're comfortable, head on the pillow. If you can lie back without your neck tilting back or anything, feel free to not use the pillow. Most of us, our posture isn't the best, and the head will tilt a little bit. So we do not want that to happen because that will exacerbate the curve in the spine. We don't want to do anything to mess up the neutral, like where it will normally be. So put your ankle on your knee. Keep this at about 90 degrees to your body. You don't want the knee to kick back towards you. Then once you have that, pick that leg up, pull it back, squeeze the butt. Feel the stretch in the butt. Make sure it is a medium stretch. When you are stretching, do not go past a medium sensation stretch. Make sure you get to medium so you're actually stretching. But anything beyond that may actually have the opposite effect of what you're looking for, because your body will kind of freak out, and then once you're done, it will try to tighten up more, which is the opposite of what we're looking for. We'll go for another 5 seconds. Okay, put that leg down, put the other leg down, other ankle on the other knee, pull that leg back, same deal, make sure this leg stays at about 90 degrees to the body. Oh, this side's tighter. So remember, medium stretch, nothing too intense. all in the butt if you feel the lower back. Um, Reposition, see if you can keep it out of the lower back, and if you can't, just skip it. So like another 10 seconds. Okay, put that leg down. Grab your little stretch thing. I lost mine. You're going to take that. If you're using a towel, same deal. Try to get it around the middle of your foot. Grab it as low as you can. Keep the leg as straight as possible. Heel to the ceiling, toes back towards you. Pull it back as far as you can, keeping the leg straight. As you can see, I'm not getting to 90. You don't have to get to 90. You have to keep the leg straight though. And then make sure you're feeling in the belly of the muscle. Nothing behind the knee, and you don't want to feel it too much at the end. You want to feel it right in the middle. And if you want to, you can kind of contract the front of your thigh a little bit, and that'll help the hamstring, which is the back of your thigh, relax. Okay, carefully bend that leg. Take the stretch band off, do the other side. Again, straighten that leg, heel to the ceiling, toes back towards you. Pull it back as far as you can. As you can see, the side's tighter. Hamstrings are the bane of my existence. Go for another 10 seconds. Okay, good. Take that leg we just stretched, put it straight on the floor. Take the other leg, pull it back bent. Grab the knee with your opposite hand, and if you can, grab the ankle with the same side hand. Otherwise, just reach as far down as you can. Pull it back, again, feeling the stretch in your hips, keeping that leg parallel with the body. Don't let the heel kick in toward your other leg. If you're super tight, you might feel a stretch in the top of the hip on the other side. Don't worry if you do, that's normal. But you want to try to focus into the leg we're holding on to. Go for 5 more seconds. And you're going to put that leg down. I forgot to do that again. Pick the other leg up. Again, knee, opposite hand, ankle, same side hand. Pull it back as close to your chest as you can. Stretch in the hips, maybe the front of the hip on the other side. And hold that. And if you're stretching on your own, you need to hold it for at least 20 seconds, but you don't really need to hold it for more than 30, because as soon as you hold it for 20, that kind of tells your body to relax, which is, when I forget exactly what's called right now, but it's like the body will tell the muscles to relax. But if you hold it for too long, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so now pull the first leg back, pull the second leg back as well. Give your knees a big giant hug. Make sure only your hip comes off the ground. If your lower back is rounding, you're a little too tight for this one for right now, so just skip this one. But really pull it back as far as you can without the lower back coming off the floor. You don't feeling the stretch kind of where the hip meets the back of your thigh in the middle. If that makes sense. Gonna hold for another 10 seconds. Okay, carefully put one leg down, then the other. and then roll your body. Try not to twist. Just roll over. Ow. Whacking your head into your medicine ball. Okay, now for the next few stretches, you want to make sure you keep your spine tall and neutral. Do not tilt your head up like I just did. Do not round forward. So we're going to do the butterfly stretch. So put the bottoms of your feet together and make sure you can stay tall and neutral. If you have to round forward to stay in position, we don't want to do that. So wherever your feet need to be. So just pull them back as much as you can, keeping yourself tall and neutral. If you can, push down on your inner thighs with your elbows to make sure you're getting the stretch. If that causes you to round forward, obviously don't do it. Stay tall and neutral. We'll hold for another 15 seconds. But again, stay tall and neutral. If you find yourself slouching, which you probably will at some point, it's very unnatural for us to maintain position the whole time. So always check yourself. And if you notice you're slouching, just tall and neutral. Excuse me. Okay, good. So now you want to straighten one leg. Take the other foot. Put the bottom of your foot into your inner thigh. Staying tall and neutral. Turn slightly to that leg. Hinging from the hips. Do not round to reach for your toes, because we want to keep the stretch from the back of the leg. We do not want to stretch your back. Do not ever stretch your lower back directly. It might feel good when you do it, but it's going to make the problem worse overall. I do explain why in a video. If you want, you can look for it. I think I call it why. I think I said, should you stretch your lower back? I can't remember the title of the video. Okay, up tall, switch legs, same deal. Put the bottom of your foot into your inner thigh, turn slightly to that side, hinging from the hips, do not round, getting as close to the toes as you can. Okay, back to the other leg. And this time, take your, obviously the other leg, and you're going to cross over so your foot's on the opposite side. And what you're going to do is you're going to stay tall and neutral. Actually, you're going to stay tall. We're not going to do neutral because we're going to turn a little bit. You want to twist from your middle back, never twist from your lower back. If you feel any strain or pain in the lower back, skip this one. But otherwise, turn as much as you can, staying tall as possible. Then turn your head to you so you're looking over your opposite shoulder. Excuse me. Okay, let's switch sides. Same deal. Put your foot on the outside of your knee, staying tall, turning as much as you can. Again, if you feel any pain or strain in the lower back, skip this one. If you want, you can use the hand on the floor to kind of push yourself up a little taller. Okay, back to center. Grab your pillow. We're going to do the hip flexor stretch. And for 80% of people that suffer from, mild to moderate back pain, just doing this stretch every day will have them relieve their back pain. So get the knee on a pillow, drive your knee down into the floor, keep your knee directly under your hip. Do not have it behind you. Staying tall as possible, feeling the stretch in the front of your hip. If you want a little extra stretch, reach for the ceiling and you might feel it all the way up. But really make sure you're feeling the stretch in the front of your hip. And at no point when you do this stretch should your knee be behind your hip. That is not a stretch. That is you taking the head of your hip and driving it into your hip capsule, which is the uncomfortable sensation you're feeling. It is not a stretch. And if you keep doing that, you're going to make your problem worse. Okay, drop down, switch sides, knee into the pillow, squeeze that butt nice and tall, open the hip flexor up, reach for the ceiling. Keep forgetting how messy my place is, and then I notice halfway through the video. Okay, bend that elbow up tall. Gonna do the counter stretch, so you need something that's about waist height to mid chest height. So we're gonna use my sofa, which is the perfect height for me. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna put your hands on whatever you're using, bend the knees, keep them soft, drive the butt out, and then walk back, really letting the chest drop down. Oh, this feels so good. Making sure you feel the stretch in the posterior side of your body, but not directly in the lower back. You can feel the stretch everywhere else, but if it's directly in the lower back, I want you to carefully stand up tall. Oh, this feels so good. This is especially good stretch to do if you sit down all day in a hunched over position, which you shouldn't. You should always check your posture, make sure you're staying tall. But like I said earlier, that's not natural for us to constantly stay in position, so you'll have to check yourself frequently, especially to start with. Okay, bend those knees a little more. Carefully bring yourself to tall. Make sure those core muscles are staying tight. Going back over here. Now we're going to do the hardest stretch of the day. You can see there's a pillar behind me. If you need to use that for counterbalance or any piece of furniture for counterbalance, feel free. So bring your feet a little wider than shoulder width apart. Hands stay on your inner thighs. Drop yourself down. You will hinge forward, but just keep the spine neutral. Drop as low as you can toward the floor. Do not pick the head up. Do not round forward. And once you get down there, push out on the knees. You can, put your hands like this, whatever works for you. If you can't get this low, again, try to find something you can use for counterbalance. Really drop that butt down. And as you sit in this position, you'll probably relax a little more. But really try to stay deep. Do not pick the head up. Do not round forward. Neutral spine. We'll go for another 10 seconds. As you can see, I keep relaxing and sitting deeper into it. 5 more seconds. Okay, carefully bring yourself up to tall. Last stretch. Going to use your pillow and medicine ball if you have it, or something just to keep your hips stacked. So bottom leg straight, top leg on the medicine ball or whatever you're using to keep your hips up. Arms forward. You're going to rotate away, use it from the middle of your back. That's why we have the medicine ball, because we don't want to twist from the lower back ever. Getting as far as you can. Again, feeling the stretch here, maybe in the butt, maybe in the chest, but nothing in the lower back. If you can get your arm to the floor, great. Otherwise, just kind of let it hang where it stops. Do not force this stretch. And if at any point you start to feel a strain in the lower back, Just bend the elbow, carefully roll back to center. Okay, bend the elbow, roll back to center. Let's switch to the other side. And once we finish this one, we'll be all done. So carefully roll over again, middle back, getting yourself as far as you can, feeling the stretch here, maybe in the butt, maybe in the chest, depending on where you're tight. If your posture is like the typical human being, you're probably slouching forward a little bit. So you'll definitely be tight here. From all the sitting, you'll definitely be tight here. And we don't usually rotate enough throughout the day, so your rotational ability may not be the best. Mine used to be really terrible. If I had the time, I'd explain to you, but I don't have it right now. Okay, so that is it for the stretching. So hopefully you feel good. I try to do this every day around 6 o'clock to have people follow along, but today was early due to the fact that I have a 6 a.m. client. So always warm up before you static stretch. Never static stretch cold. If you have back pain, give yourself a little movement in the morning. Don't roll out of bed and try to stretch. If you have any questions about how to relieve back pain, stretches, exercises, leave them in the comments. I will get back to you. And I have older versions of this if you want to look up my information on how to contact me. Otherwise, I will put it into this later once YouTube actually loads it up. So again, my name is Paul Francis Sweat. I'm a pain-free movement specialist. Again, if you need to contact me below, or you can through the information I will give. So until next time, train smart, train hard, train safe, train the sweat.